Well, hello and welcome. How are you? My name is Rusty Humphries. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, and now's the time for you to check in. Who are you? Where are you deplorable from? Are you in the big storm? I would be surprised if there's anybody in the big storm watching today. You've probably got better things to do than to watch this show. But if you are, I'd love to hear from you and see from you. Comment here. Let's see. We got people checking in, saying hi. Timothy's there. Got 4 coming. Thank you. Coming up in a little bit. Oh, Nick's there waving. Hi. Julie is an Oklahoma deplorable. How are you doing, Julie? Kathy's in Charleston. Mark is in Cincinnati. Kara's there. Tonight's program is being brought to you by the nice folks at Right Wing News. Also, Liberty One TV at libertyonetv.com. Have you checked out libertyonetv.com? If you have not, you're missing out on some great shows. Kara says hello. Edward checking in from Crown Point, New York. Timothy, beautiful song, Rusty. Thank you. Also, tonight's show, sponsored by a couple of people. Number one, Virtual Shield. If you haven't gone to virtualshield.com/Rusty to find, let's see, what should we open or closed? Hold on. See, this seems a little bit too, if you're listening to just the podcast, I got one button here. I never know what to do. So I get this one, it looks like now it's too tight, or if I do this and unbutton it, now it feels like I should have chains and I'm going to a disco. Ladies, your vote. Guys, I don't care what you think. Anyway, go to virtualshield.com/Rusty. Use Rusty as the promo code. Get yourself a virtual private network to find out how to stop your internet provider from selling your browsing history, which you don't want. Roger checking in. Carolyn is praying for everybody in the path of the hurricane, as am I. Sean in Cincinnati. Sean, big question. Gold Star or Skyline? What do you think is best? Thomas says evacuate. Mark Allen with the thumbs up. Cooled down in Northern California, says Mary. Jessica says leave it unbuttoned. Okay. Rolly's there too. Also, the program is being sponsored by, a very good company. I know because I own it. It's called the Humphries Group. And nobody likes talking about life insurance. I'll be the first to admit it. But the one thing I learned the hard way was you better have some, and you better have some on your spouse too. And I didn't have any on my wife when she passed away, and it is one of the great regrets in my life. And so one of my missions now is to make sure that all of my friends and family and you in the audience are covered with life insurance, because you never know what's going to happen. The younger you are, the less expensive it is. The older, the more expensive. But I want to help you. And I've been helping some people via email and then calling them on the phone. My friend Eric, who also works with me, he may come on the program today. We're having a Skype issue with him. But if you, let me see. What do they say when they send out a letter? Hold on, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Well, if you have a mortgage or you need life protection insurance, do yourself a favor. Just email me. See it there online. It's rustyonline777@gmail.com. rustyonline777@gmail.com. Give me your name, the city and state you're in, how old you are, and your phone number, okay? And I will get back to you, or my friend Eric will get back to you, okay? Let's see here. Let's check in. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, first of all, I got to start with this one. I just saw this video, and it is it's pretty interesting. They have dug up a video from a Google exec who is breaking down in tears as she's recalling Trump's victory. This is kind of interesting. Let's watch this, and I want to, because of course, let's not forget Google is independent, and they are not political at all. Let's check out this Google exec.
8:30 p.m. on Tuesday night, I was at home with friends and family watching the election returns, and as we started to see the direction of the voting, I reached out to someone close to me who was at the Javits Center where the big celebration was supposed to occur in New York City, somebody who'd been working on the campaign. And I just sent him a note and said, are you okay? It looks like it's going the wrong way. And I got back a very sad, short text that read, people are leaving, staff is crying, we're gonna lose. That was the first moment I really felt like we were going to lose. And it was this massive, kick in the gut that we were going to lose. And it was really painful. It did feel like a ton of bricks dropped on my chest, and I've had a chance to talk to a lot of fellow Googlers, and people have said different words, similar concept, how painful this is.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is... and Brian is absolutely right. What she's really upset was knowing how hard Google worked for the outcome, and it failed anyway. And Joe says, funniest thing I've seen in years. It's funny except for one thing. Back then, they were not censoring and silencing conservative voices. Today they are. Today, they have almost single-handedly, them and Facebook, have wiped out conservative media. You say, oh, it's not that bad. It's worse than you think. I know personally of hundreds and thousands of people who have lost their jobs, companies that have gone out of business, the loss of traffic that has been shadow banned or has just been systematically wiped out because of Facebook and Google is shocking. You see it, right? When was the last time, think back before the Trump election. Think back. And you were able to see how many every single day, conservative stories, conservative news, shows like mine, and you were able to pick and choose what it was you wanted to see and what it was you wanted to hear. And now that is almost gone. Am I right or wrong? So now what they've done is now it is completely in the tank for the left. And it is one of the reasons why I am very concerned about this possible of these victories of Democrats, because a lot of the messaging that I'm trying to get out that you want to hear, that you want to get out to your friends, is being silenced. And so a lot of it makes it so that the only thing they hear is negative Trump, and that's it all day long. Let's see here. Mark says, vote Republican this midterm. Mary says, I wonder if anyone called the Wambulance. The censoring is bad media-wide. Very true. Poor Google. Poor unbiased Google, says Rolly. So that's what has me really concerned tonight. About, it's kind of like Al Gore. Al Gore was so angry when he did not get what he felt he deserved, and that was the presidency, that he systematically went after an election, tried to have an election overturned, and when that didn't happen, he pumped up his BS in the global warming thing, making himself a multi-millionaire, but basically going after the American people and trying to teach them a lesson. And now Google's trying to teach us a lesson. Facebook is trying to teach us a lesson. And the question is, when will enough be enough for them? Jessica thinks they're going to spontaneously combust. Teen says, you are so effing right, Rusty. I don't even recognize my Facebook feed. I don't either. I mean, on my Facebook feed, it's let me see. Let's see. I saw a pig trying to have sex with an orange cone today. What else? Let's just go to my feed right here. First of all, this ain't coming up. Okay. My sister posting about Tropical Storm Olivia. Does anyone have a puppy I can play with? I have an ad for a credit card payment. I have a friend that's in Minnesota. There's me. That's good. Hello. Let's see how long it takes. Let's see how far behind we are. Hello. Yeah, we're too far behind. Rolly says Rusty's back. Now see, Rolly, I've been back every day this week. And I know Rolly watches all the time. It just hasn't come up in your news feed. I mean, it's just 106-year-old great-great-grandfather breaks zip line record. Oh, now that I want to see. Hold on. Let me forward that so we can watch that. That's entertainment. Let's see here. What else? Gore pushed the left's mantra that Bush was an illegitimate president. Notice they've done that again. Yep. David's in Orlando. Roy's in Alabama. All right. What else do we have going on here? Twitter blocks illegal alien posts as hateful content. What? The phrase illegal immigrant is now hateful content according to Twitter? I hadn't seen this. Seen this one? The federal government, the U.S. Supreme Court, and lawyers across the land use the word illegal alien to describe immigrants who illegally enter the country because that's the definition in the law. But Twitter makes its own laws. And the social media giant is now blocking folks from promoting any messages with the phrase, which its moderators apparently consider hate speech. Twitter rejected a total of 4 ads from the Center for Immigration Studies, only providing vague reasoning, and it appears that word is illegal immigrant. Ugh. Well, I guess we better put things in perspective for them. I don't say the word illegal immigrant, but I sing about them. This is for Twitter. Let's play a little Sneaking into the USA by your friend Rusty Humphries. Let's get it on.
Can you help me with this, sir?
Yes, tell me. What?
Okay, so I want to get into the USA. What do I do?
Take this one. I'm going north.
North.
Yes, north.
Going north. Okay, I can do it. Let's go.
Now everybody has this notion. Come to the USA. Don't you worry about money. Stupid Americans pay. Yeah, they'll pay for your health care. Kids' education too. Just sneak across the border and they'll take care of you. Well, they're crossing from Tijuana and California's line, and up in Vancouver, nobody seems to mind. In containers from China, yeah, you can stow away, 'cause everybody is sneaking into the USA. Way down in Guadalajara and from Pakistan, tell your friends you're leaving. Let's stuff them in your van. They're coming from Afghanistan through San Francisco Bay. Everybody is sneaking into the USA. Well, they're coming from the galleys down Arizona way. Ask the government to stop it, and if you say no way, they're digging big old tunnels. You know they're coming to stay, 'cause everybody is sneaking into the USA. Everybody is sneaking into
Yes, Jessica, I'm quite a dancer, aren't I? I know. I'm quite a dancer. But then again, we get people saying, oh, illegal immigrants aren't really crossing the border. It's not that big of a deal. Come on, Rusty, you're just making it up. Is that right? Well, here's a little something posted by American Voices. Let's put that up. Maybe Twitter will ban this one too. Check this one out. They are fully equipped with gear and camouflage. They're carrying big packages. The property belongs to Arizona rancher Jim Chilton. These men were sighted resting along the perimeter of the ranch. Some are armed with military-style assault weapons as they crossed into the U.S. There are even rifles hitched onto some of the horses as well, you can see. And there's a quick ad here. We'll wait for the ad to be over with, and then we should get back to this. But, again, this is important stuff. That the left wants to just ignore and say, hey, it's not true. No, it is true, and there are illegal immigrants, and it's dangerous. Some of these men are carrying assault weapons like the AR-15s and what appears to be AK-47s. Now, the left normally hates those. Chilton's 50,000-acre property is allegedly ground zero for anyone trying to cross the border. They don't look like women and children, do they? These are human smugglers, drug cartels, and illegal immigrants. These well-equipped, well-organized, armed illegals aren't looking for work Americans don't want. Footage captured by the Arizona Border Recon catches large groups traveling. These groups are often led by coyotes who specialize in illegal border crossings. Border Recon has recorded illegal border crossings for the past 2 years. A Border Patrol agent was shot in the hand and leg in June while on patrol. The agent survived the encounter thanks to his bulletproof vest. Mr. Chilton told the Washington Times that he's noticed a recent increase in migrants. Yeah, these don't look like women and children looking just to get a better job in Washington, in the United States. Do you think? What's your take on viewing that? I know we have a lot of people just listening on the podcast, so it's hard to see, but it was just men in military fatigues crossing the border, going through America. None of them looked like they were coming here to pick crops. They look pretty well armed to me. Let's see here. Sean says an AR is not a military assault weapon. It's a liberal term. Sean, I agree with you. I think it was put on there, ironically, so that liberals would Maybe be afraid of that term. By the way, if liberals really cared about the planet and Mother Earth, they would certainly be against all this illegal crossing. You should see the trash dump, the garbage that these people leave is litter on these trails. It's horrific. It's like walking through a garbage dump. I've been there, and it's garbage dump for miles and miles long. Matthew says, listening from Lake George, New York, home of the liberal governor that will be going soon. I hope so. Watch for several minutes. Every one of those had drugs. Timothy says, do I have an album? I've got like 5 or 6 albums out there. There's one that was in the stores for quite a while. It's called Bomb Iraq. It was when the Iraq War just started. It's okay, but you can find it. I found it for like $2 on like eBay or something. Let's see here. Joe says, come on, guys, they're just going on a picnic. Bill thinks we need a Black Hawk to buzz them with a burst from their miniguns. Joseph says, let's put the U.S. Marines there. Charlotte says they've been doing this for years. We need the wall. Absolutely. Again, it's true. Now, I've been on the border with the Border Patrol a few times. And what happens, and this doesn't get reported very often because, well, it's against the idea that these are just wonderful human beings that just want a better life. What tends to happen is, so I was over by San Diego, and they take you up on top of this mountain. And you can't really drive Jeeps around all of it because it's just too rocky and mountainous. But at the top of the mountain, they had this telescope that you could see heat signatures. So when you look in there, you could see the heat of the bodies, right, of people. And what was noticed, he said, look at the lines. And you could see like 15 or 20 lines of people lined up and about 25 in each line, okay? And then he said, okay, here's what's going to happen in a couple of minutes. Somebody's going to go, uno, dos, tres, ándale, ándale, ándale. And everybody's going to run in a single file line through to the wall. Now, there was a wall there, but they had a couple things to get people across. But they did all at the same time. They knew that of those 20 groups, for example, 2 groups were going to get caught. 18 groups would get through. If your group gets caught, you're supposed to sit down. The coyote guy runs off. The human smuggler guy, he runs away. And then you're stuck there. And then you get some paperwork. And then they send you back across the border. But the other 18 groups, they're through. They're in. And there's nothing that the Border Patrol can do because there's just not enough Border Patrol guys down there. And that's the big way they get people across the border easily and quickly. Kara says, that's not an immigration, that's an invasion. These are not migrants looking for jobs, says Bill. Oh my gosh, it's only about an hour south of where I live, is what Pamela said. Take Maxine Waters and Chuck Schumer, let them walk with them. A friend said that I didn't see any women or children. Brian said, that's big money. Jane says, build the wall looks like a military invasion. Jessica says, garbage, look at L.A. And Mary said, that's pretty darn scary. Joe wants to know, why is Mexico letting them through? They're letting them through because they're the big beneficiaries. They get a lot of money out of this deal. Now, why? What I don't understand is why, if the best and the brightest of Mexico is leaving to come here, why would Mexico want their best and brightest to go? Timothy says, no more NAFTA. If Americans want to own a business there, suspend their citizenship and throw them out after seizing their assets. No more games. This is a war against America, says George. Seize Loretta Lynch's assets. Obama, Hillary's too. Jack says, Rusty, that video ticks me off. I came here legally, opened a business that employed 2 citizens. Huh. Thank you, Jack. Joe thinks you electrify the fences. George says, guess you people ain't never seen Red Dawn. Yeah, I've seen Red Dawn. What else is interesting online today? Oh, did you see... let's see, where did it go? They fired another guy from CBS today. And it's kind of an interesting video of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's too long. But let's play about 3 minutes of it. Now, here's my question. And again, do I want a bunch of sexual harassers working? No. Do I think they deserve protections? No. But man, this whole thing where you can get your career destroyed in literally 1 minute by somebody that makes an accusation with no proof, from something 10 years ago, that scares me. You tell me what you think. Let me play this video from CBS Tonight here.
CBS News today fired Jeff Fager, the executive producer of 60 Minutes, who'd spent 36 years at the network. In less than a year now, three of the most powerful men in broadcasting, Fager, CBS chairman and CEO Leslie Moonves, and CBS This Morning co-host Charlie Rose, all accused of sexual misconduct, have either been fired or resigned. Jerika Duncan has the latest on Fager, including his controversial text message.
Jeff Fager, the executive producer of the oldest and most successful news magazine program in history, 60 Minutes, was fired from CBS News this afternoon. In its more than 50 years on air, only two people have led that broadcast. Fager succeeded the show's creator, Don Hewitt, in 2004. Fager also recently served as the chairman of the CBS News division.
When we cover a story and report it on Sunday night and it has impact on Monday morning, that's what you hope for.
Fager hired Charlie Rose for multiple roles at the network. In November, Rose was terminated. This July, 6 female former CBS employees told The New Yorker Fager would touch employees in ways that made them uncomfortable after drinking at office parties.
Okay, I'm not defending the guy, but what does that mean? He touched them in ways that made them uncomfortable. He went behind them and gave them, a massage, kind of just, hey, how you doing? We're at a party, yeah. I mean, how many times has that happened in your life, men and women? The boss is an old school guy. Hey, how's it going? Did he slap her on the shoulder? Did he grab her? I don't know. But just touch employees in a way that made them feel uncomfortable. Your definition of uncomfortable may be way different than his definition of uncomfortable. Why is your definition the only one that matters that can destroy this guy's life? Now, understand, I am not defending the head guy of 60 Minutes. I just am not sure that this whole we're just going to destroy people's lives for something that happened 10 years ago is the best way to go. Or am I wrong here? If so, please tell me.
19 current and former employees told The New Yorker Fager allowed harassment in the division. Fager vehemently denied all of those claims. Fager continued to come to work. On Sunday, The New Yorker reported a new accuser said she felt compelled to speak because she simply can't believe Fager is back there. The article described her as a producer who was an intern at CBS in the early 2000s who said that he groped her at a work party. In response to that allegation, Fager told CBS News, "This is an outrageous claim, and it didn't happen. It is wrong." Fager's departure comes days after CBS chairman and CEO Leslie Moonves resigned following allegations of sexual assault and harassment. We caught up with CBS News president David Rhodes today after he briefed the 60 Minutes staff.
Can't talk to you guys about this today.
In a statement today, Rhodes said Fager's dismissal is not directly related to the allegations surfaced in press reports, which continue to be investigated independently. However, he violated company policy, and it is our commitment to uphold those policies. Through his attorney, Fager told CBS News, "They terminated my contract early because I sent a text message to one of our own CBS reporters demanding that she be fair in covering the story. My language was harsh. CBS did not like it."
I am that reporter. Since Jeff Fager publicly referred to our exchange today, to be transparent about it. First, here's some background. Sunday evening, I reached out to Fager for comment on the articles alleging he groped or touched
Okay, I want to stop just for a second. I want to go back just for 1 second here to what he said. Again, I am not.
that reporter.
Hold on.
Since
Hold on. Okay, I'm not defending him in any way, but he says something here that I want to go over again.
CBS News, they terminated my contract early because I sent a text message to one of our own CBS reporters demanding that she be fair in covering the story.
Okay, isn't that fair? A woman, anybody should be fair in covering a story.
My language was harsh.
Here's the
CBS did not like it.
I am that reporter.
Okay, and so basically what he said was, hey, if you've got information, you better do your own reporting. Don't just listen to everybody else. If you do your own reporting, then fine. But if you use somebody else's reporting, I'm going to be ticked off if you come after me and try to ruin my life. Well, I think that makes sense, doesn't it? Or maybe not. Maybe it's just we can accuse anybody now of anything, and that's it. You tell me.
Reporter. Since Jeff Fager publicly referred to our exchange today, I'm going to be transparent about it. First, here's some background. Sunday evening, I reached out to Fager for comment on the articles alleging he groped or touched CBS employees at company parties. In addition to denying these charges, Fager in a text said to me, quote, if you repeat these false accusations without any of your own reporting to back them up, you will be held responsible for harming me.
Okay. Yeah. If you repeat these false and he's saying it didn't happen. And if you repeat these false accusations, hold on 1 second. Hi. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to accept the call here for a second. Okay. Hi, Erica.
Hey.
Hi, hold on.
Yes,
I'm on the air.
Okay.
But and everybody can hear you, but I can't see you yet. So if you can put on your camera, my friend Eric's going to be on the show in a minute, and so we're going to talk to him in just a second. Right now, all I can see is me. But we'll get back to Eric in just a second. But Eric, if you can figure out how to get your camera on, because all I see is me, and then we'll get to you in a second. But, what they're talking about here, and it's a fair question. He says, if you repeat these false accusations without any of your own reporting to back it up, you're going to be held responsible for harming me. And then, let me continue with what they say here.
He went on to say, be careful. There are people who lost their jobs trying to harm me, and if you pass on these damaging claims without your own reporting to back them up, that will become a serious problem.
Okay. All right. We're going to get back. Hold on. So if you, and maybe he's doing it in some kind of a harsh tone that we can't use anymore, but I'm sorry. If somebody was accusing me of something, and again, I'm not defending this guy. I don't know anything about this guy. I'll be honest, I never heard his name before. Okay. But if somebody said, I'm going to accuse you of this stuff, and I'd say, listen, you don't use that garbage that people said that wasn't true. If you've got some more information, go for it. But if you don't. And I don't know. He's out, though, and let me finish up the story with her.
Will enter its 51st season under the leadership of executive editor Bill Owens, while the search for a new executive producer begins.
Okay. Your comments, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's right that, hey, nobody wants to have some serial abuser in power. I'm the first one to say I don't want it, and I bet you're in that list too. But is this any allegation by anybody 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Is that right? George thinks proof has to be in the pudding. Kara says, and then people made fun of Mike Pence because he wouldn't be in private with another woman. Yeah. Minnie says, Rusty, what we care about now is the wall we need to secure our nation. Okay. One of the things that I've been telling you about for the past week or two is that I'm really concerned about my family and friends, and I consider you friends. Life insurance is not something anybody wants to talk about. It's not something that is fun or interesting, or when you sign on the dotted line, you go, yeah, I got life insurance. Woo, yeah. Nobody does that. But it is so important to protect your life and your family. And I want to take a moment and bring on a friend of mine, Eric. Eric is a guy that works with me. He is one of the top guys in the country that I know of that does life insurance and mortgage protection insurance. And Eric, welcome to the show. You're on the air. How are you? Oops, now I can't hear you. You have your microphone, you have your sound on there, buddy? Let's see. I can see you now, but I can't hear you. There we go. I got you all the way up.
How's that?
There you go. There you go. Hey, Eric, good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Look at you.
Okay. Eric doesn't know me as a radio person. He knows me as a business guy. But Eric, so I've had personal reasons why life insurance affected my life or didn't affect my life, because when my wife passed away, I didn't have any on her, and it was probably the biggest mistake of my life. Have you found, and we've had, there's all these stories of storms coming up and stuff. Have you run into people that, God, had they just known to get life insurance and they didn't? Have you talked to people like that, and what happened to them?
Oh yeah. Well, stories and stories of people that don't set up the life insurance, and then it's an afterthought, and go through tons of heartache and headache, not only through the grieving process, but the financial process after that. And there's a whole financial piece to it that comes after the grieving. And sometimes most people don't even have that opportunity to grieve because they haven't been properly set up.
Yeah. I mean, it just is one of these things where you don't expect it, a lot of times, and it is, your best friend for your life. And then people, normal life, you're talking about life insurance. Yes, I'm talking about life insurance because people got to wake up. There are too many people that aren't prepared, and stuff is happening, and people die every day. And it breaks my heart when people aren't prepared. Or, I saw a thing the other day, Eric, where somebody said, oh, I got all kinds of life insurance. And I went and looked, and they had $200,000 of accidental death. And that was it. And that thing pays off. You get hit by a bus, and that's it.
Yeah, the other thing, Rusty, that I want to point out is life insurance can be used as a financial instrument, and life insurance builds cash value at a very high rate. And a lot of people don't know about an index universal life policy, but I really I like to look at the whole package, and I really like to show people how they could build cash value and protect their families.
It's almost like getting insurance for free and making money on the deal. It really is.
It is, really.
It's a great deal. And listen, I know you don't want to talk about life insurance, and I know it's not fun, and I know you don't have enough money in your budget, and I know. Here's what I also know. I was talking to a guy today. He was 27 years old, and insurance for him was like $20 a month. And I said, let me show you how much it is for me, the same thing. And it's like $150 a month, because as you get older, it gets more expensive. And as it gets more expensive, that's when you want it. I'm telling you, and Eric, help me here, you want to get it as young as you can for as long as you can. That's how you save the money.
Oh, definitely. And, I have universal life policy on myself and my wife, but we also have them on our kids, because when they're younger, and my kids are in college, so when they're younger, they have the longevity of letting that money grow in that policy. So it's like, you can go $20-$30 a month and grow that to $500,000.
Right.
By the time they're at retirement age.
And then the other thing that people don't realize is they'll buy a term policy that goes for 10 years, and they kind of say, well, I'll just pick it up later. And then it goes from, $1,000 a year to $21,000 a year, which is what my brother has coming up. And so here's what Eric and I really want to do. We want to make sure that you're taken care of, that your policy is what you think it is or hope it is. And all you have to do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and Eric and I will reach out to you. Email me, rustyonline777@gmail.com. You see it right there, rustyonline777@gmail.com. Give me your name, give me your age, city and state, and phone number. And either I or Eric will get back with you, and we'll see what we can do to help you. Whether it's getting a small term policy or something large for a bigger family and estate or bigger home, a mortgage protection insurance. It's just so important.
Rusty, I do want to point out to your listeners that we also do disability, critical illness, accidental. So if there's any type of product that they're looking for, could probably help them with that.
Okay. And Eric is the best. And I'm honored to have him work with me and me being with his team. And it's just, anyway, Eric, we're going to talk again about it. But this is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And can you give me a positive story? You've been doing this a long time. Tell me one where it really turned out great for somebody. Do you have anything like that?
Well, I could tell you that. I'll just give you my own family story. My grandfather had taken care of himself. So when he passed away, it enabled my grandmother to have the money to be able to move into, in her own apartment in an assisted living place, but her own apartment. And now she's in the hospital, and we were just up in Pennsylvania visiting her, and she's in the hospital, and now she's moved into the extra care area, and hopefully she'll get back into her apartment. But all of that is being covered because he took care of himself.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I've got a quick one. So I was looking at you don't ask your parents for, hey, let me look at your insurance policy, but they let me look at it. And when my father was killed in Vietnam, I was 3 years old, and my mom remarried a couple years later, and she made my stepfather get a life insurance policy. And it's like $22 a month, Eric. They pay like $22 a month. And I'm looking at it. Wait a second. Guys, this is $280,000 of cash value. What do you mean? This says you have $280,000 if you want to cash this in today, and you get $280,000. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. And if you wait a little bit longer, it starts going away. But that's, my parents are getting in the area where that's pretty helpful. They had no idea. Right, Eric? I mean, I bet we see that all the time, don't we? That people just don't know what's in their policy, good or bad. Oh, looks like we lost him.
No, I'm here.
All right. Well, that's
I can hear you.
Okay,
I'm back.
That's what's important, and that's one of the things that we want to do is just look at help you out. Look at your policy. If you have something that you don't know what it is, or you don't have something and you want some help, we can give you quotes and we can help you all around the country. Right, Eric?
That's right.
All right,
Every state.
All right, Eric Prabula is my friend. Eric, thank you so much. We'll talk again later on, buddy. God bless you, my friend. Good man, Eric Prabula. And again, if you want more information, just email me, rustyonline777@gmail.com. That's rustyonline777@gmail.com. Give me your name, give me your phone number, city and state you're living in, and we'll get back to you, okay? And probably your age. That would probably help, too. All right. Anything else going on in the information? All right. Eric, Eric's just looking at me.
Bye-bye.
You can go now. I mean, I got it more of a show. You can leave now.
Okay.
I mean.
All right. I'm going to go.
Yeah, go now. I mean, just leave. There. Oh, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Anything else? All right. Mary says, for some reason, my husband doesn't want me to get life insurance on him or myself. Mary, email me. Okay? Email me. rustyonline777@gmail.com. Some people are going, well, what happened? What happened was, and why we went into it, it is kind of a commercial, but it's important. Was Eric called me 35 minutes late and didn't technologically know what he was doing. So I had to, in the middle of that video, he started calling up, and so that's what happened. So I apologize for the abruptness, but I do not apologize for the message, and I'm going to continue to give you the message because it's so important, okay? Kara says, the problem with things like the Me Too stuff is not the way the people do or say things. And then, darn it, unfortunately, I can't see more. I don't know why it won't let me see more. Fred's checking in from Mississippi. How you doing? Hi, Holly from Minnesota. Rusty needs to pay his bills too. Damn right, and it ain't from this show. I'll promise you that. Bill says that reporter wanted his job. Ugh, turning out. Was hoping to have real conversation here. Real issues we face. What a disappointment. Minnie, if you don't think preparing for a couple of years from now is real life, you are sorely mistaken. It may be one of the most important things there is. I promise who gets elected in the fall is important, but it will not affect you if you have life insurance or not. And what happens if you lose your partner, your spouse, and how you might lose your house. 90% of people who lose their homes when their spouse dies. How about that? 90%. But it's not important enough. Sorry. I'm sorry. Not important enough. I'm just trying to help. All I know is when my wife died, I've said this before. First of all, we had no idea it was going to happen. It just happened over one night. Just didn't wake up. Number one. Number two, I had two little girls. And I had no life insurance on her because why should I? She's 34 years old. Nothing's ever going to happen. I was an idiot. My daughters never wanted to see that house again. Never did. And just think what would have happened had I had enough money to cover me for a year or two. I would have been in a lot better position for my children right now. And it's tough. Oh, you make millions of dollars on the air, Rusty. No, it's never enough. All right. Did you get my email address if you want some help? You really should do it. RustyOnline777 at gmail.com. RustyOnline777 at gmail.com. Also, my friend, have you checked out, by the way, some people are starting to email in. Thank you very much. I'm not going to say your name unless you give me permission later on, and then I will. But people are starting to email in asking for help, and we're there to help you, okay? Also, don't forget virtualshield.com. That is available to make sure that your internet service provider isn't stealing your data and selling it to somebody else. You don't want that. Very great product. Go check out virtualshield.com/Rusty. Use the promo code Rusty and save yourself some money. Also, go check out LibertyOneTV.com. Great shows, great products. They got coffee and mugs and all kinds of things to make you feel like you're a good American and a great patriot. So do yourself a favor, go to Liberty One TV and check out, use my name Rusty as a promo code and get yourself some money off there too. All right, share the video, share the video, share the video, share the video, share the video. Have you shared the video? You should share the video. Maybe you share the video. Share the video right now. We'd sure appreciate it. May God bless you. May God bless America. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Au revoir.